Hello and welcome to this week's video. Just to remind you that in these videos I'm actually taking a few weeks to look in turn at each of the foundational attitudes of mindfulness. These aren't things which help you to become more mindful in some respects, but they are attitudes which, by becoming more mindful, you can adopt them more to use in everyday life. It's a bit of a convoluted explanation. Classical mindfulness is mindfulness of breath and body, which is normally done either in the form of meditation, which I do, but also in the form of movement, and in that respect Qigong is almost pure mindfulness, because it's a chance for you to be very, very mindful of your breath and how it reacts with your body, and that is mindfulness in a very pure level. The reason this helps is because when you're focusing on your breath and your body and what's happening right now, you're not stressing about what happened yesterday and worrying about what might happen tomorrow. And an awful lot of stress and suffering is caused because of the fact that we're still thinking about yesterday and still worrying about tomorrow. And being brutally honest, stress isn't caused by things, people or situations, but it's caused by how we react to those things, people and situations. And the attitudes of mindfulness can help change your reactions. So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to start by leading you through the normal short Qigong move set, and then the meditation that I'm going to be doing with you is going to focus very much on promoting gratitude and helping you to see how gratitude can help. So I would like to invite you to turn your phones off, make sure you won't be disturbed. Make sure that you have somewhere close to hand where you can lie, sit or maybe even stand for a meditation at the end of this short move set. Make sure you've got plenty of space around you so you can wave your arms around and not hit anybody or anything. And then if you need to sit for the moves, that's absolutely fine. But whether you are standing or sitting, can you please have your feet a hip width apart? Send your awareness down to your feet. Think about the outside edge of your feet, the inside edge of your feet, the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. Try to make sure that your weight is evenly distributed across all of them. Then bring your awareness up to your knees. If you're standing, gently relax your knees slightly. If you're seated, then make sure that you are seated in such a way that the bend of your knee is at about a 90-degree angle. Then bring your awareness up to these core abdominal muscles. Try and engage them with a very slight pelvic tilt. Then focus your awareness on your back. Make sure your back is as straight as it can be. Get your neck as straight as it can be and tuck your chin in so that the crown of your head is pointing up at the ceiling. Think of your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. And then, when you've got yourself into the best possible position, just remind yourself why you're doing this. You're doing it for you, because you know it's good for you. Maybe because you're curious to see what this is all about. But congratulate yourself for taking time out for yourself and reminding yourself that you're worth it. Maybe be grateful that you have the time to do this. And I want you just for a moment to sit or stand in your best possible posture and just breathe. Just become aware of the natural rhythm of your breathing. Try to get a sense of how your body moves with each breath, even if you're not consciously trying to move anything. Maybe use your breath to tune in to your body, to bits of your body that may be sending signals, and if you need to adjust your position to reduce the signal, then that's fine. Nothing you do during this movement phase should cause you any pain or discomfort. Maybe use your breath to tune into your mind. Maybe get a sense of how you'd like to feel at the end of this session. And then let your hands hang loosely by your side. And if it's easier to imagine things with your eyes closed, close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to imagine that you're in a lift. It's a very big lift. It's very luxurious. It's comfortable. It's well oiled. It moves almost soundlessly. And it has glass walls. And as you go over to those glass walls, you realise they look out over the most beautiful countryside. And as you look out over that countryside, so beautiful, and you start to feel relaxed and calm. And then, when you're ready, tune into your breath, and then with every out breath, just allow that lift to float down one floor at a time. As fast or as slowly as you like. One breath, one floor, until that lift reaches the ground. Then allow your arms to hang loosely by your side, or maybe it's more comfortable for you to rest them in your lap. But just get your arms into whatever position works for you. And then with your next in-breath, just allow your arms to float up in front of you. And then as you breathe out, just allow them to gently sink all the way back down. Find your own breath and your own rhythm. Only move your arms as far as you can manage in that one gentle, easy breath. Only move your arms as high and as is physically comfortable for you. Don't push things. No need to push, just need to work at 70% of what works for you. Just move twice more, breathing in, allowing your arms to float up. Breathing out, and they sink back down. And then last time for this move. Breathe out, and your hands sink down at the bottom. Just relax and let go. And the next move begins very similar. On the in-breath, your hands floating up. Then allowing them to expand outwards as your chest and lungs expand. And then as you breathe out and they relax, just allowing your hands to float back in and back down. Needn't be a big move. Small is beautiful in Tai Chi. And we'll do this move twice more. Then with your next in-breath, allow your arms to rise up. Maybe make an arch as if you're holding a ball of energy in your hands. Then as you breathe out, if you're standing, transfer your weight slightly to the left and dip slightly on your left side, and then allow your right arm to uncurl to balance it, keeping your back straight. And as you breathe in, everything comes back to the centre. If you're seated, just slightly raise the heel on the same side as the arm that's uncurling. We'll do one more move on each side. As you breathe in, your weight comes to the centre, your hands meet at the top, and turn your palms outwards, and as you breathe out, just allow your hands to gently float all the way down, by your side or into your lap if you're seated, and that works. And on the in-breath, just allow them to float up. On every out-breath, just allow them to gently float down. Be careful to keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Only make the circles as big or as small as you're comfortable with. Breathe in, allow your arms to float up. Breathe out, and they sweep down by your side. And then last time for this move. And this time as you breathe out, allow your hands to gently come to rest in front of your body with the palms up. And with the next in-breath, imagine you're feeling round a small ball, and as you breathe out, imagine you try to push that ball underwater. Keep this move very small and very low. Be careful to take your hands no higher than your heart. Breathe in. Imagine you're feeling around that small ball. Breathe out and push it underwater. And then last time for this move. This time as you breathe out, bring your hands to rest in front of your body, or in your lap, or maybe by your side, whatever works for you. And just for a few moments, just stand or sit and just breathe. And just get that sense of everything settling back to where it should be. Ready? Get yourself into position and ready for our meditation. While you get yourselves ready, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. So, get yourself in a comfortable position. If you are sitting and you're in a chair, maybe try to make sure that your back is away from the back of the chair so that you're self-supporting of your head. But the important thing is that you are sitting or lying or standing in a position that works for you. Now, you don't even have to remain in that position for the whole meditation. You can change your position. You know, if you discover that you've got feelings of pain or discomfort, then by all means feel free to shift your position if that helps. And just a reminder that mindfulness isn't about clearing your mind, it's about being aware of what your mind is doing and learning to focus your mind on things that can help you rather than on focusing on the things that can be causing you stress. So, I'm going to begin and end this meditation with the sound of my singing bowl. Yes, it's back. I'm going to sound the bowl 3 times to begin and end the meditation. At the beginning of the meditation, on the 3rd time, I'm just going to let the sound of the bowl die away quite naturally. And the first thing I would like you to be aware of, and I'd like you to be curious to see whether you can follow the sound of the singing bowl and identify that moment when the sound of the bowl fades into silence, when those sound waves stop reaching your ears. As the sound of the bowl fades away, I'd like to invite you, if you wish, just to become aware of any sounds reaching your ears, any sensations that you have right here, right now. Not reaching out to try and find things, just noticing what you're aware of in this moment. And just a reminder that you don't have to close your eyes. Some people find it easier to close their eyes if I'm suggesting certain imagery. It's quite possible to be mindful with your eyes open. So now I'd like to invite you to become very aware of your body and where your body is and what your body is touching. So if you're sitting or lying, can you send your awareness to where your body meets the bed or the chair? If you're standing, maybe become aware of where your feet meet the floor or where your back meets the wall, depending on whatever you're doing. And then allow your awareness to move further in. And I'd just like you to become very aware of your breathing, not changing your breathing in any way, just noticing the natural rhythm of every in-breath and every out-breath. Just being curious about what you sense and what you feel with every breath. Because most of the time we just breathe on autopilot, we don't notice it at all. So what can you notice? What do you feel that tells you that you're starting to breathe in, and where do you feel it? And what do you feel that tells you you've started to breathe out? And again, where do you feel it? Maybe you're aware of air moving in your nose or throat. Maybe you're aware of muscles moving in your chest or in your back or in your tummy. You'll probably all be aware of different things, and that's okay, because whatever you notice is perfect for you. So don't go actively looking for things to notice, just be aware of what comes naturally to your attention as you just allow your breath to just happen quite naturally. Now, most of the time, as I say, breath is going on autopilot, so thinking about your breath isn't the most natural thing in the world, and so it's actually very natural if you discover that your mind has wandered off. Human minds are meant to think about things. Maybe you even find it slightly boring trying to focus on your breath. If that case, just acknowledge that feeling and accept it, but still try and keep on with the meditation. Be compassionate to yourself. And every time you notice that your mind has wandered away, you're actually being mindful. So when you notice what your mind is doing, congratulate yourself. Give yourself a mental gold star. But then gently lead your mind back once more to every in-breath and every out-breath. Because whatever else may be going on and whatever else your mind wants to think about, the only thing that matters right here, right now, is just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. It doesn't matter how many times your mind wants to wander off, just as many times, gently, compassionately, lead it back to your breath. Now, I'd like you to try, if you can, to locate inside yourself feelings of gratitude. Don't care what you're feeling grateful for. Just locate a feeling of gratitude. Maybe as you locate this feeling, you become aware that it's centered in a particular place in your body. Or maybe that you associate it with a certain feel, with a certain colour, or maybe even a certain shape. Just find that feeling of gratitude. Wherever it's centered in your body. And then as you breathe, I'd like you to imagine that that feeling of gratitude spreads out. Maybe you could even imagine that as you breathe gratitude into each part of your body in turn. So maybe you could imagine that first of all you breathe gratitude all the way down your legs, through your thighs and knees, through your shins and calves, and all the way down your legs into your feet, and all the way through to the tips of your toes. And then maybe you could imagine that you breathe that gratitude all the way from your shoulders, down your arms, through your elbows, and all the way down through your hands and to your fingertips. And imagine breathing that feeling of gratitude into every part of your torso, from your hips up to your shoulders. Then finally, imagine breathing that feeling of gratitude through your neck into your head and face, so that the whole of your body is filled with that feeling of gratitude. For a moment, hold the whole of your body in your awareness. Notice that it's filled with a feeling of gratitude, and notice how that makes you feel. Then bring your awareness back once more to your breath. Just noticing the natural rhythm of your breathing, the natural movement of your air and the muscles. Not altering anything, just noticing your breath as it naturally happens. And then start to let your awareness move outwards, so that you become aware once more of where your body is, in the bed or the chair or wherever it is. Become aware once more of the room. Become aware of sounds, both inside and outside the room. And I'd like to invite you once more to listen for the sound of my singing bowl. And if you have your eyes closed, I'd like to invite you to keep your eyes closed until the bowl has sounded for the third time. So open your eyes if they're closed, bring yourself back to normal awareness. Don't rush off. Take a moment to make sure that you're fully back. And as you're bringing yourself fully back, you might have noticed a certain amount of resistance in yourself to some of the things that I was suggesting in that. Well, do you know, that's perfectly normal. And accepting that sort of resistance to these sorts of ideas can be part of mindfulness in itself. But I hope you found this interesting. Gratitude is something that I think is quite fundamental. Those of you who are of my generation will know who I mean by Pollyanna. Those of you who are not of my generation, go to Wikipedia, because I'm sure she's got a Wikipedia entry. But Pollyanna was a little girl who was almost sickeningly sweet, but could always find something to be happy about in any situation. She found lots of things to be grateful for. I do try not to be Pollyanna-ish, but I'd like to tell you a little anecdote. It's true, something that happened to a friend of mine. His family were struck by a major tragedy that had permanent, severe consequences for them. And this friend rang me up basically to, talk to me and to see if, I could suggest any ways that they could cope. And I did my best. And a few weeks later, when I reconnected with him, I asked how things were, and he gave me all the, more mundane details. And then he said, but he said, every night when my wife and I go to bed, he said, before we go to sleep, we think back. He said, and we will think back until we find one thing that happened during the day that we can say, we can be grateful for that. He said, it may not be a very big thing, but it helps us go to sleep in a good frame of mind. None of the attitudes of mindfulness and mindfulness itself are a panacea. If disaster strikes you, the mindfulness isn't going to make the disaster go away. But as I said at the beginning, stress isn't caused by what happens to you, but how you think about it. Having an attitude of gratitude, even for small things, can help you cope better if life decides to throw a major disaster at you, as has happened to a number of friends, and to be honest, life has chucked a few disasters my way as well. Life is never going to be easy, but we can navigate our way through the disasters with a minimum of pain and discomfort if we approach things in the right way. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I will be back next week. If you have any questions or comments, you know how to contact me. Please feel free to share these videos with anyone that you think might be interested. All the past videos that I've got over nearly 2 years of these, over 2 years of these videos now, I think, are available on Crystal Wolf Holistic Care. A lot of them are now available on the Crystal Wolf Holistic Care YouTube channel. They are free, they will remain free, but if you would like a little bit of extra video time with me, then do please pop over to my Patreon page, where for a very small sum you can sponsor me, and that gets you extra video time. You know how to contact me if you have any questions. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week.